The chaos before the boom and why Bitcoin is about to break out. We look at the numerous factors that are keeping short-term prices low while simultaneously contributing to long-term bullishness. Last Week in Bitcoin is a series that discusses the events that transpired in the Bitcoin business the previous week, covering all of the significant news and analysis. Summary. Despite temporarily falling below $30,000 earlier this week, Bitcoin's price has been pretty stable over the last week. Although nothing dramatic occurred to either raise or knock the Bitcoin price over a cliff, the market recovered very easily after temporarily falling below $29,000 on several exchanges. However, it began to rise again over the weekend, surpassing $34,000 by late Sunday evening. Despite recent losses to $30,000 and below, I remain quite enthusiastic about Bitcoin's prospects in the next months. The long-term forecast for Bitcoin is optimistic. Since its introduction in 2009, as previously said, the data indicates that Bitcoin is once again poised for a breakout in the next months that will far outperform $100,000 per Bitcoin. The stock-to-flow model compares an asset's, or commodities, stock availability to the flow of production. Let's take a look at why we should be unduly optimistic about the coming months. The mining difficulty of Bitcoin will decline at its fastest rate ever later this week. This usually raises the price because miners expend even less work to earn Bitcoin. Miners, on the other hand, are feeling the pinch as a result of China's crackdown, and many are liquidating Bitcoin and spending money to relocate or shut down their operations. This will most certainly take several weeks, if not several months, to resolve. Then there's El Salvador, which has made Bitcoin legal tender for the entire country. This isn't even close to being priced in. Aside from that, several countries have shown a desire to follow in El Salvador's footsteps. Tanzania hinted at this earlier this week. El Salvador will formally accept Bitcoin in September, when every citizen receives $30 in Bitcoin airdropped via the upcoming Chivo mobile wallet. In one of the largest airdrops to history, millions of individuals will receive Bitcoin. Taproot will launch on the Bitcoin network in November, delivering improved security, faster speeds, and more smart contract features. Bitcoin is increasing at a quicker rate than ever before, but the price isn't reflecting it. However, we are always comparing Bitcoin to fiat and pricing it in currency, which is hilarious given that we are rooting for Bitcoin to overturn the outdated, failing global financial system and the fiat currencies on which it is based. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin is the only price that matters. News that is successive. This week, Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk said a public conversation on Bitcoin will take place later in July. This should be bullish, but you can never tell with Musk. In an interview with Bloomberg, Michael Saylor stated that he is not bothered with short-term price changes, and we should not be either. Saylor has previously stated that there is no reason why Bitcoin cannot become a $100 trillion asset, and even if that is a reasonable estimate, a 20,000% growth is still on the table in the next years. CME Group also revealed this week that the number of micro Bitcoin futures contracts traded on its platform has surpassed 1 million since May, indicating rising demand for all things Bitcoin. Finally, Q2 Holdings announced a partnership with New York Digital Investment Group, NYDIG, to provide access to Bitcoin trading to over 18 million customers. This will only increase Bitcoin popularity around the world and encourage other financial institutions to offer similar or identical services. Disappointed information. Although I wish it were good news, Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk's intention to hold a public conversation about Bitcoin in July is a pessimistic event. Musk has repeatedly demonstrated that he is here to manipulate the market and continue his disinformation campaign against Bitcoin, and it is unlikely that he will have changed his tune by the time the debate begins. In my home country of South Africa, we've had a historically bad week. The government has repeated its opposition to purchasing cryptocurrency outside or moving money abroad to do so. Following the collapse of 2020's mirror trading international Ponzi scheme, the AfriCrypt affair solidifies South Africa as the crypto fraud capital. Over the weekend, the United Kingdom government issued a warning to Binance that it cannot perform regulated activity in the United Kingdom, and that other exchanges will be subject to the same restrictions. Rather than paving the way for crypto acceptance, certain countries are progressively enforcing bans and spreading anti-crypto propaganda. This is unlikely to change anytime soon, and as Bitcoin usage grows, more and more countries will fight back, attempting to maintain control over their old financial systems while putting citizens in financial distress. Verdict. In the short run, I am pessimistic. Bitcoin appears likely to go below $30,000 at least once more in the next weeks, but my long-term forecast remains excessively bullish. Bitcoin is about to break out, as my charts and weekly rants continue to indicate. It could take weeks or even months, but I'm not giving up. Bitcoin is providing financial freedom to billions of people, and as more individuals, institutions, and even countries adopt it, the fiat price will skyrocket.